Hi, Paul Mascetta here with InfluenceMaster.com, and I want to talk to you about something a little bit different than gaining compliance today. I want to talk about the next step after gaining compliance. Influence and persuasion is all about gaining compliance from others, having others comply with your requests, getting stuff from people, getting people to do what you want them to do, and hopefully you investing in the same relationship, because relationships are a two-way street, and doing the same thing for other people. But today I want to talk about what you do after you gain compliance from someone. So what's the next step? The next step is loyalty, okay? Loyalty is the object of the game once you've already gained compliance. It now becomes a question of how do you get your target to keep complying with your request? How do you get them to keep investing in the relationship? How do you get them to stay loyal? And once you get there, how do you increase loyalty? Well, a lot of companies use things like incentive programs to get their customers to stay loyal. They give them a reason or an incentive to keep doing business with them or to keep buying stuff from them. They may offer things like frequent flyer miles, or you may get a free gift once you've spent a certain amount of money. But the point is that you get an incentive, you have a goal to reach to get something, to get some sort of a reward from the company, which keeps you buying from them or doing business with them. Well, a group of researchers by the name of Joseph Nunes and Xavier Dries wanted to put this to the test, and they wanted to see, now they knew that incentive programs worked, but they wanted to put a little twist on it, and they wanted to see if they could magnify the results that they get with an incentive program if they could increase the amount of payoff milestones that the customer gets. They wanted to give the customer a head start on whatever it is that they have to do to get their free gift or their reward. So they gave 300 car wash customers incentive cards. You know, cards that say something like, you know, if you get 8 car washes, the 9th car wash is free, something to that extent. So here's exactly what they did. They took 300 customers, they split the group in half. 150 got a card that said 8 stamps needed to get a free car wash. So the card has 8 numbers on it, and once you stamp all 8 numbers, the 9th car wash is free. The second group of people got a card with 10 numbers on it, but the first 2 had already been stamped, meaning that this group of people needed 10, but since they already had 2, they were 20% of the way there, and they still only needed 8. Well, if you listen closely, both groups still needed 8 car washes in order to get the 9th car wash free. They still needed to go there 8 times to get the reward. Only one group is being flat out told they need 8, whereas the other group is being told that they needed 10 and they have 2, and now they need 8, so they are 20% of the way there. What's the difference in the response rate? Well, here it is. In the group that received a stamp with nothing on it, they were 19% likely to come back to reach the free car wash, whereas the group that already had 2 stamps was 34% likely to come back and get their car wash. But here's what's even better. In the group that had the 2 previous stamps, they also used up their stamps an average of 2.9 days faster than the first group. So what does that tell us? Well, first it tells us that if you give your target a head start on an incentive, they will be more likely to actually follow through on what they need to do to get that incentive. But it also tells us that they'll do it faster than if you didn't give them a head start. So you're basically getting you're getting a response rate from them in 2 different aspects. Okay, you're increasing the chance of them doing it, and then once you actually get them to do it, you're getting them to do it at a faster rate, which means you get your result faster. You get your result in a shorter period of time. So this enables you to, 1, increase loyalty over a large scale, and then it also enables you to increase the frequency of loyalty. And when you can increase the frequency of loyalty, then you've really struck gold. And here's the reason why. In most cases, people tend to feel more comfortable doing business with or complying with requests from people that they've already complied with in the past. We generally feel more comfortable doing business with people that we've done business with before in the past. And the more you actually do business with someone, the more comfortable they're going to feel with you. So if you can increase the frequency of times that they actually do business with you, what you're really doing is making the investment in the relationship even bigger and separating them even further from your competitors. And that is an amazing thing, okay? So right now, what I want to talk about are the 3 reasons why I think this works, okay? The first one is commitment. You know, I say it all the time and it's a proven fact. Commitments work. People generally tend to stick to their commitments for a number of reasons, with probably the 2 biggest ones being that no one really likes to be known as someone that doesn't stick to their commitments. Our society frowns on that. It's not something that we really congratulate or we think is a good thing, and most people don't want to be placed in that category. And secondly, when you subconsciously make a commitment towards something and then deviate from it, it creates cognitive dissonance. It creates internal conflict, which in essence is a feeling of uneasiness that we don't enjoy and we will do anything to kind of get away from. People don't like to experience that. So anytime you can get someone to make a commitment and then if they deviate from it, they know that they're going to feel that inside, chances are they're going to stick to the commitment. So if you can show someone how a commitment has already been set and then get them in alignment with it, they will take ownership over it and feel as though it's their commitment. So you'll have them committed. The second thing is when you can show someone that part of something is already done, you begin to create a vision for them, okay? Visualization is oftentimes an essential component in persuading someone to get them to do what you want, because oftentimes if you can just lay out your request and tell people what you want, they can visualize it completely different than what you have in mind and actually be turned off by it and not comply and not do what you want them to do. But the sad part about that is that they're not complying to a request that's probably not even yours. Your request is actually a lot different than what they're picturing in their mind, and you lose them simply because you couldn't get them to align with your vision. Well, if you can lay out your vision and show someone exactly the progress and how it's coming along, once they see that something's already being attained and progress is being made, you help create the vision that you have for your product or service, which again is going to increase the likelihood of them complying with you. And the third thing is that people prefer the path of least resistance. I mean, let's face it, if it's not easy, most of us are not going to do it. The fact of the matter is that most people don't do things that they know that they're supposed to do. People know that they're supposed to exercise, but most people don't. Okay? People know that they're supposed to eat right, but most people don't. The fact is that most people will put off doing things that they don't enjoy. So you can imagine if you have this scope of things in someone's mind that they know that they have to do, obviously the ones that are really essential, to their life, they're going to do. They're going to get done. I mean, even people that don't like to go to work, if they know they have to go to get the paycheck, they're going to get up and go to work. So now you can imagine if you start asking people for extra things that they think are hard or complicated on top of everything else that they have to do, chances are they're going to tell you no. So what you want to do is anytime you frame a presentation or frame a request, you want to frame it in a way that makes your target think it's extremely easy and it's not going to involve a lot, because they want to take the path of least resistance. So again, if you have a project that needs to be 100% completed, but you show them that 20% of it is already done, it's going to make them think that the job is not that hard, and it's also going to set off a subconscious trigger in their mind which tells them, hey, if somebody else completed 20% of this already, maybe it's not that hard. So again, the 3 reasons why I think you can increase loyalty by giving your customer or your target a head start is 1, the power of commitment, 2, the role of vision, and 3, the fact that people prefer the path of least resistance. So how can you use this in what you do? It's pretty simple. Whatever you are asking for from your target, find a way to show them how a small part of it has already been completed. Let them then take ownership over it and make them feel as though they are committed to it. And if you can do that, as the study proves, you will not only increase the odds of them becoming loyal to you, but once they do, you will then increase the frequency by which they are loyal to you.